Hello, Tashidelek, everybody, and Pakar Sang, and welcome to Wednesdays with Rinpoche, and so we are here, our continuous Wednesday, and as you all know, in Tibetan society, because His Holiness the Dalai Lama was born on the Wednesday, so we actually celebrate every week as a pure Wednesday, and so we actually greet each other by saying Lakar Sang, so happy Wednesday, all right? Okay, so today I hope everybody is doing well, and I think tonight actually topic I wanted to share, which I saw this beautiful cathedral rock picture of Sedona somewhere on the web, on the Facebook, and then it is actually a very beautiful reflection that actually see in this still water, in the stillness of this clear water, so the reflection, and then somehow I put that picture upside down, and then I remember this one quote actually from the Buddha, that Buddha actually said that since everything is a reflection of our minds, everything can be changed by our mind. So somehow it is sort of like whatever, everything, right? Everything means just kind of like anything and everything. So everything is a very huge thing, right? It's like everything, including ourselves, like all the outer, inner, and just kind of like the whole existence, right? The whole existence is a reflection of our minds. So somehow this kind of like the phenomena, this called mind in English, and actually in Tibetan we say sim, right? Sim. So sim, and in Sanskrit I think it's called chitta, sort of like so basically like I don't know, it is just kind of my personal kind of gesture that whenever I say mind, I kind of like point my finger here, sort of like so sometimes you know, different people have a different way of actually putting kind of their gesture, right? Like a hand gesture. Like many times I see people saying mind, like you know, they actually pointing into their head, and sometimes mind here, and so I don't know, maybe a different location of physical body that we actually point, but that doesn't mean that mind is located, right? Mind is located in the body, but sometimes it's just kind of like this understanding the mind. So somehow, what is mind? It's a very big question, right? It's just kind of like because it is so huge. It is just kind of like the somehow in some cases, Buddha actually said that everything is part of mind. So it is just kind of like just kind of like whatever, like everything that exists in the whole existence, so somehow it is sort of like it is all reflected, right? It is all reflected in the mind. So, so that's just kind of generally, just kind of like when we actually say that everything is an object, right? It's just is an object, and then mind is the observer, right? So it is like so there's like there's an observer, and then there's an action that is observing, and then there's something there to observe, right? Something to observe, and then somehow when the object is observed by an observer, then kind of like how is observer observing the object actually? By kind of taking the reflection, right? By taking the reflection of an object. So something that is reflect, sort of like so then kind of like when we actually go deep into what is the difference between what is reflected in the mind, and then it's kind of like what is reflected, right? So somehow it is like we always think that object is there, and then observer is here, and then the reflection of this object is actually kind of reflected, like how the object is reflected in the mirror, and then somehow like there is a observer. There is like an observer that actually sort of like observe it, right? So, it just kind of hold it or grasp it. So from that point of view, it is actually very kind of like difficult. Actually, it's like very inconceivable. Like somehow, if we actually really go into the matter, like the object, that the matter is there and the mind is here. So what is the relationship between matter and mind? That is sort of like so then overall, when we actually look at then mind itself also, what do you think? Mind itself is a matter or not? Like mind itself is an object? Because mind is it does exist, right? It exists. So that means it is also observed, right? It is also observed by some observer, right? So then it is kind of like is there a reflection of a mind? So what is actually exactly reflecting? So that is kind of like why kind of like this is actually a good metaphor that from this message that I found this. So I kind of like by actually thinking that I wrote some kind of like a Tibetan verses as a prayer. So in Tibetan, actually, in my Facebook post, actually, you can see that. Yome chuna sumyen selwa tar. Means the clear reflection is seen in the clear water. Tishin yome semla sem nikis. Likewise, in the stillness of clear mind, the reflection of ultimate truth is seen. Sem niki chuni hamir chawa gewe sungs. So this reflection of ultimate truth is seen in the stillness of the clear mind. So today you all means may we all achieve this clear and stillness state of mind. So so somehow kind of like we don't, like our mind, somehow we, like our mind doesn't see the ultimate truth so clearly. Why? Because our mind is like a boiling water. Like, it's like a boiling water. It's like, it is not, it's like, it's moving so much. It is kind of like, it is somehow, it is not still. So when it is not still, then it is not calm. And then because of it is so much moving and it is so much distracted, right? Our mind is so much distracted, and somehow like the reflection of the truth actually doesn't appear in that kind of like unclear mind. So that is why sort of like Buddha always give this metaphor saying that it is important to make our mind calm and clear. And somehow kind of like a mind itself, it has a potential. Our mind has a potential to be calm, to be clear. It's kind of like, so somehow the nature of the mind, right? Nature of the mind is actually clear, and actually it is also stillness. So in Tibetan, actually, we use the word myoa. Myoa means yoa meva. Yoa meva means stillness, not moving. So somehow our mind is actually very much moved by so many conceptions, right? So it is just kind of like there are so many different causes in our mind that makes our mind move so much. So then our mind moves so much that like the truth is always there, but the reflection of the truth is not actually clearly showing. So it is all distorted. It's just kind of distorted. So somehow, kind of like there is actually a trick that if we actually make our mind remain in stillness, then the reflection of the truth will be actually seen, and then it's kind of like the mind will see the reflection of the ultimate nature of the mind. But then that's kind of a little bit, it is kind of a little bit kind of like, what do you call, out of this world kind of language, right? It's kind of like, mind will see the semgi chunyi, ultimate truth, ultimate nature of the mind. So ultimate nature of the mind is not separate from the mind. So, but then it's just kind of like, how can mind actually see the ultimate nature of mind itself? So that is kind of like, so somehow that is one main important thing, like for enlightenment, like to become enlightened, sort of like so we have a potential, we have this mind. So this mind or consciousness that we have, so somehow this mind has a potential. So it has a potential to remain still. So it has a potential to become clear. So that is why it's just kind of like we need to first, what do you call? We need to first understand. We need to first understand our own mind, right? We need to first understand our mind. So then it is just kind of like, as Buddha said, since everything is a reflection of our minds, so everything can be changed. So somehow, it's just kind of like when you change your mind, so somehow that means like you don't have to change anything from the outside. So everything is a reflection of our mind, right? So that is why it is just kind of like, because our mind is so distorted and it is so boiling, right? Boiling with the lust, boiling with the anger, boiling with the jealousy, boiling with so many different afflictions, right? It's just kind of boiling. So then it's kind of the clarity is not there. So the clarity is not there. So that is kind of like the question is, will this boiling mind, right? This kind of like a wandering mind, this distracted mind, will this mind ever get calm? Then actually answer is, so it's kind of like a good news, right? Good thing is that yes, it can be calmed. So then that kind of like once it is actually calm, then somehow we will see things clear. So when we see things clear, then what happens is everything is kind of like everything is clear. So somehow you will actually choose like a right way, right? Like when we don't see things clear, then just kind of like we get so confused, and so when there is no clarity, so then everything become confusing and complicated, and that is why traditionally in the Buddha's teaching, maybe you have seen that and heard that many times, that we say that ignorance, right? Ignorance is the root of all the suffering. Ignorance is the root of samsara, right? So ignorance means kind of like not seeing things clear, not seeing the truth, not seeing it, not understanding it. So that is why sort of like the when our mind become calm and clear, then we will see, or we will understand the truth. We will see the things that is reflecting clearly in our mind, and then when everything is seeing like it is all that is like everything is reflected in our mind, and then somehow it is kind of like like a less confusion, right? Like and many times, like one of the things that we get so confused is because like in our mind we have so many different sort of like reflections, and then things that reflected, and then like whatever is kind of reflected in our mind, somehow we don't differentiate between what is reflected in our mind and what is actually there, right? So somehow, so this is very confusing, right? So somehow like the object is also already projected by our mind there, and then whatever we have projected, somehow it is reflected back into our mind, and then like whatever is reflected, somehow we actually confuse that is the object. So this is kind of like somehow, if we totally understand sort of like how our mind project, and then whatever is projected, somehow you are actually reflecting it in your mind, and then somehow it is just kind of like when you clearly kind of like determine, right? Clearly determine, like a kind of like a determination, like I think it's kind of like I don't know the word, Chö Rabdu Namje, that is Tibetan word. Chö Rabdu Nambar Jeba means like when you actually clearly, like completely kind of distinguish, like, or determine, or kind of like say this is this, kind of like when you clearly actually able to see how this is all happening. So that is kind of like we say interdependent, right? How things are interdependently exist. So like mind project things, and then things were actually reflected in our mind, and then like somehow whatever is reflected, the reflection was not so clear. So then we get confused with whatever is reflected, and then we actually think that is the truth, and then we get carried away. right? We get carried away into that. So that is why I think this understanding, like how our mind work and how mind project things and how everything that is reflected in our mind, and then whatever is reflected, it is just a reflection, it is just the appearance of that object, and whatever is appearance, and that appearance somehow how this in the realm of this appearance, how everything actually work perfectly, and then like whatever is appear somehow, then like it doesn't necessarily need to be exist there, because if there are if there are 10% watching, right, one object, and these 10 people, right, will have a different appearance of a one object. So each one of these 10 person looking at the thing, they all have a different appearance. That doesn't mean, so if there are 10 person, then there's a 10 appearance, right? And like that is kind of like sometime in the Buddhism we say sort of like 10 direction, right? So some of these things are kind of interesting, because when we say 10 direction, it's just kind of like it's just something, this terminology that we use specific by Buddha, like in his scripture, many times he say ZaChoeje, right? ZaChoeje, Tusum, like ZaChoeje means 10 direction, Tusum means 3 times, right? Past, present, and future. So it's kind of like a ZaChoeje means kind of, it's like a space, right? So in the space, and then space and time, right? So when we actually say the space, then there is like generally people say 4 direction, right? But in the Buddhist term, we say 10 direction. So how we say 10 direction is just regular east-west, right? And then south-north. These are just general 4 direction. And then, there's a 4 corner, right? Like the, southeast corner, and then, west, southwest corner, and then northwest corner, and then the southwest and southeast, northwest and northeast, right? So anyway, sort of like that is 4 corner, and plus 4 direction is like 8, and then the 2 other direction is like a up, like a upside, and then like a downside, right? So it's like so it's just like if you put one object in the middle, and then if you are like, if there is a 10 viewer, so who actually looking at the object, so these 10 viewers, like one is sitting in the east and the west, like another one is at the west, and then south and north, and then 4 corner, and then one is looking from the upside, and one is looking from the down. So then and these 10 viewers, right, these 10 persons who are looking at the same object, what do you think? Every one of them will have a different appearance, right? Different vision, right? Because one that is looking from the east actually is looking, is what that person is seeing, is that person is seeing the the east side of the object. So every direction, sort of like they are all seeing different, like these 10 people are actually seeing 10 different kind of appearance. But what they are doing is they are looking at one object. So there are 10 different appearance, right? There's 10 different appearance, and these all appearance also different, right? Like no one is saying the same thing. Everybody is seeing different thing. So then what is so there's simply there are 10 appearance, right? with that, like there are 10 appearances in that moment, and how many existence are there actually? There's only one object. So then this one object has a 10 different, so then like what do you think? Like so this one object is reflecting into 10 different mind, right? It is reflecting into 10 different mind, and so then this one object actually become 10 at that time or not, right? So that is why appearance, and then each one of them who has a different experience, somehow like whatever they are appearing, it will bring a different experience in them too, right? And so one object will cause so many things. So somehow then the question also always comes. So where does this one, right? Where does this one object that is in the center, in the middle, where does it come from? You know, who has projected it? Whose mind projected it? So that's kind of like a little philosophical, right? Little philosophical thing. So there's kind of like a different, you know, philosophical school will say many different things, right? Some people will say, you know, this one object that is in the middle is actually created by some creator, right? Some creator, and there is some sort of like a one universal creator that create this, and then it will, you know, have a different experience for different people, right? So that's a big question. So then this like some people actually who say it is a karma, then they will say it is the result of the all of these 10 people's karma. And but then like if we go into how does you know, this karma actually, you know, created that one object in the middle by 10 person commonly, and then it just kind of like it you know, goes a little bit complicated when it comes to how you know, when did this karma happen, how did it happen, and why did it happen? All these are a little kind of like question things, right? So anyway, so but just kind of like the thing is from the Buddhist point of view, then even in the Buddhism there are you know, different philosophical school, like the, you know, Swatrantika, you know, says that there's an object is there outwardly, right? And then there is a mind-only school actually says that, you know, actually this object in the middle is not actually there, but it is there in the mind. Then the question comes, whose mind, right? So then somehow there's kind of like some universal consciousness or universal mind, you know. So that is again a little bit difficult. And then, you know, like what do you call this Madhyamika philosophical school, then they say that, you know, this is actually kind of like so there are two kind of Madhyamika also. Then that central object, whatever it is that we are looking, that is actually a projection of mind, but at the same time it needs something there from its side, some half of it there, and half actually it is projected. So they give a metaphor like gyume talang, means like a magic, right? So like if somebody, you know, using a magic sort of like so they have a one substance. So this kind of like, I think in the ancient time, you know, sometimes they have a magic that is done with some kind of like a substance and or mantra. So they will actually first, like if you're looking on the table, you know, they have just one stick there, and then just kind of because they put some kind of like a mantra or some kind of influence by some substance, then you can see you know, that as some sort of like animal. So if they transform like so it's just kind of like that stick is transformed, and then the, you know, audience is starting to see that they see the snake there, so it's not a real snake, right? But people see it, and then in the appearance they see the snake, and then everybody who are scared of the snakes, actually they might get scared, and then it will affect, right? It will give different experience for different people. But that is how your mind projected it as a snake. But beyond that, so they need like one stick. If there's no that stick there, then somehow you will not like the magic will not happen. So that is why there is something there, but that something is actually appears as a. So then this is one kind of like a Madhyamika school actually say that. Then there is a Prasangika Madhyamika school actually say that it doesn't need anything there. It is just mind. Your mind has projected tokpe taksam, so it's just imputed by your mind there. So nothing actually exists from there. It is just like it is your mind that actually exists. Then this kind of like a question will come. So there is one object there or not, right? So somehow then we have to say that this 10 people mind has kind of like a projected one object there. So these are all kind of little bit kind of like difficult, right, to understand. So anyway, but still it is what do you call it? It is what is the truth, right? The truth. So somehow if we know the truth, then everything will become clear. So to be able to understand our own mind, so that is why first we have to understand what is mind, and then once we know what is mind, and then making like this present mind, so somehow like calm and clear and still. And once your mind becomes still and clear, then whatever is the reflection that actually in your mind is that the reflection is clear, and then we will be able to understand how our mind works. So anyway, so that is kind of like, because I saw this reflection, so tonight our key word is a reflection. So anyway, I always like the word reflection, sort of like if we want to understand our life, we need to reflect on our life, right? So reflecting in our life, so that is like when we actually reflect ourselves on our life, then we will understand our life, because whatever life that we have, it is the reflection in our mind, right? It's a reflection in our mind. And then another thing, sort of like also I remember in the one time in the Buddhas actually say that everything that is outside, everything that you see outside, whatever we see outside is a reflection of our something that is inside us. So and somehow, and that is kind of true too, right? It's kind of like if we look with negative vision, then we will see everything negative. If we look at things with a positive vision, then we will see everything as a positive, right? So that is also kind of like another level of understanding the reflection, all right? So anyway, that is just thought, like a food for your thoughts. And so just kind of like whenever you have some time, just try to make your mind still and calm, and then you will understand your mind better, I think. All right. So so I see some people, we are here gathering for this our Wednesday talk, and I see some comments here, and then I wanted to wish everyone greeting from South India. And so here I see Ninju Kumaran, Pranam Tashidelek, so prostration to Gurudev, so your comment, who has transformed our life by uplifting our mind. This is New Year for many people in South India. Master, please accept our grateful prostration for this portal to light, for all this beautiful comment. New beginning, Namo Namaha. Yes, I think I went for a walk and I see people are actually plugging some mangoes leaf, and I asked them, what are you going to do? And then they said it is South India New Year, something Ugadi. They say it's a Ugadi or something, and they somehow they decorate their house with the like banana leaves and the mango leaves. And this is actually when I walk in the field, in the forest, I see many mango tree. So it is a season. Actually, it's kind of like a beginning season of the mango, because they are like nearby our village. They have so many mango grow. So and some people actually are kind of like protecting their mango. Some people are actually plugging the mango, stealing the mango, and so it is not totally ripe yet. But it's just like some of the trees has so many mango, so it is like maybe, so it's kind of like a South Indian New Year, Ugadi, right? So that is I hope that this new beginning will be good. Thank you, Ninju. And then I see Kesan Gendu Tashidelek. So you are saying thank you, Rinpoche. You're welcome. Jason Stephens, I love you guys. Thank you for the ability to interact. Thank you. So I hope that you can actually hear and see me clearly. And so it is just a spiritual interaction. Thank you very much. And then I see Tashipunzo, Tashidelek, and Harish Mosher Parva, Tashidelek. Many blessings to you. Same to you. And Kathy, Tashidelek, Kathy, thank you, you're welcome. And then Michelle Nguyen, Tashidelek, Michelle. And then I see Helen Person, dear Rinpoche, I heard that thoughts ride on the moving breath. Can you explain how this related to the pranayama 9 breath meditation you taught in the spring? I have practiced it each morning since spring and is interested. So yes, I think kind of like there is it is 9 round breathing is another method, right? So basically we use the 9 round breathing as because there is there's this very strong connection between our breath and our mind, right? So it is kind of like breath on the outside, sort of like it's just like on the gross level, it is kind of that. But then when it goes kind of like a little bit subtle, then it's like a different wind, right? So first we connect with the outer breath, that is the gross form of the gross level of the wind energy, and then somehow in the Buddhist text, actually it says that mind is moving, right? So mind move because our wind is moving. So somehow the metaphor is mind is the rider and then wind is the horse. So somehow it's kind of like mind moving so much because it has a ride, the horse. So but then like they have to. So somehow, if you actually make a sort of like your mind calm, then your actually wind also become calm. So it's kind of vice versa, sort of like vice versa. Like if you make your wind calm, then your mind will become calm. If you make, sometime when you make your mind calm, it will affect your wind to become calm. So just come somehow and this is one of the powerful method that in the beginning, whenever we actually do the meditation, sort of like we actually connect with the breathing, right? So there is a very strong connection between our breath and our mind. So that is why I think. So then it is if you are doing that every day, then I think it is a very powerful practice. It is a 9-round breathing practice. And then I see Manika Tajidelek listening while kayaking Tempe Town Lake with John Lewis. Try for this teaching. Okay, so enjoy the water, and yes, that is wonderful, Manika Tashidelek. And then Losan Chumbe Gishe Tashidelek, and Mary Kay Moses Tashidelek, Mary Kay. And thank you for sharing your wisdom. You are very welcome. And Dennis Shever Tashidelek, thank you for your teaching. You are welcome. Carol Inglested Tashidelek, I always look forward to Wednesday with Rinpoche. Thank you for this time. You are very welcome. And Jitka Marigold, thank you Rinpoche for your teaching. You are welcome. David Kumito Tashidelek, dear Rinpoche, thank you for the blessing of this Wednesday teaching. Kayla and David. Okay. You are welcome, Kayla and David. And Miyuki Onozawa Watanabe, Rinpoche, thank you always for your precious teaching. You are very welcome. Melissa Smith Tashidelek, Nurlai Araiwa Tashidelek, and Regula Stewart Tashidelek, Rinpoche, from Ernie and Regula Tashidelek. Thank you for the teaching and thank you for the continuing to teach on Wednesday. It is wonderful for us. I'm happy that you like it. So for this one whole year, it is our Wednesday that we are interacting, right? So this is maybe even though we are not physically there together, but somehow we are able to connect, right, through online. So it is just kind of like every Wednesday I am coming in your home. And then Sandra Braza, happy Vedic New Year and good morning, Rinpoche. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you for your teaching and wisdom. You're welcome. And David Kumito, David here. Okay, when you taught about Buddha mind a couple of weeks ago, you said that the Buddha mind does not exist from its own side. I understand how Buddha mind arises dependently on previous movement of Buddha mind, but can you explain how it does not exist from its own side? It confuses me. Yes, I think not only Buddha's mind, even like all the mind, because from the Prasangika point of view, everything doesn't exist from its side. So when we say everything, including mind, so mind is also included in the everything. So somehow nothing exists from its side. So nothing exists from its side means that nothing exists independently, right? Everything exists dependently. So somehow, so mind itself, just general mind itself is it does not exist from its side. So Buddha mind is also same. Buddha mind is also one of the existent, right? So somehow it's just kind of like but then when we say it doesn't exist from its side, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It exists, but how it exists, it doesn't exist from its own sort of like the inherently exists. Mind is not inherently exist. So general mind is not inherently exist. So Buddha mind is also not inherently exist. So somehow if you think of that way, sort of like everything, right? Everything doesn't exist inherently. So from its side. So nothing, just generally, nothing exists from its own side. Nothing exists inherently. So that is the meaning, I think. All right. So that is, I think, David, it is a little bit confusing. It is, it's not easy. Yet it is simple, but it's not easy. And then Regulas to Tashidelek from Ernie, I have a question. How is mind-only school different from Prasangiga, where you say it is imputed by mind? Yeah, I think the main thing between this mind-only school and the Madhyamika, like a middle way school, I think the main thing is it is kind of like somehow a mind-only school, kind of like they actually say sort of like there is kind of like a exist sort of like Dempat Drupa. Dempat Drupa means something truly exists, sort of something inherently exists. Something inherently exists, like if, like so there is kind of like sometime, the mind-only school actually, as I earlier explained, so kind of like they have to believe some sort of like a universal mind. So, but they will not say, but it is kind of like universal mind. Sometimes they use the word Kunshi Namshe. So the mind-only school actually, when it talks about the consciousness, they actually kind of establish the 8 consciousness. Namshe Tsoge. So Namshe Tsoge is like generally there are 6 consciousness, right? So the eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, then tongue consciousness, then body consciousness, and then mental consciousness, right? That is general. So on top of this 6 consciousness, mind-only school actually add 2 more consciousness. So one is called the Nui. Nui means afflictive consciousness. And then Kunshi means all base consciousness. So somehow, why they have to establish this all base consciousness is kind of like all base consciousness is sometimes it sounds like a universal consciousness. So somehow that is one difference between the Madhyamika. So Madhyamika school doesn't actually accept, they don't agree there is a Kunshi, like all base consciousness or something, some kind of universal consciousness or something like that. So then there are a lot of other different things which, I think if I kind of say here, then it will become a philosophical school, right? So then, we don't have enough time for this philosophical discussion here, all right? And then I see one of my friends, Chade Tuku Rinpoche, Tashidelek Rinpoche, and then Helen Person. Thank you for the explanation. You're welcome. And Mary Milam, Tashidelek, this is wonderful time. I look forward to each week. Thank you. And David say, thank you for your answer, Rinpoche. I have been refining Buddha mind, clear light mind. Okay, so yes, I think, so this kind of like Buddha mind, instead of looking at the Buddha like the other person, so kind of like the potential of the Buddha mind is we have the potential of the Buddha mind. So it is actually better to actually research more on this, our own mind that we have, and how this mind has a potential to become Buddha. Sort of like in Tibetan, sometimes we say Rangshin Neri Genjurgiri. So somehow how our mind developed. So somehow this ultimate true nature of our mind. At this moment, it is just natural Buddha nature, but somehow it as also Genjuru means it is a developing, like it is just kind of like it will develop. So when your mind actually develop, then somehow the same Gichunyi, even though it is an emptiness nature, but then that emptiness sort of like when your mind become kind of like when your mind actually become what do you call clear, like the more actually clear from affliction, then the like somehow the reflection of the Simgichunyi, reflection of the true nature of the mind actually become more and more clear, sort of. So somehow, like when you become enlightened, then every single afflictions and the imprints of the afflictions become clear from your mind, and then your mind somehow clearly reflecting the Simgichunyi, ultimate true nature of mind. So then how it is reflecting, that is also very inconceivable, because somehow it kind of sungju means kind of it become union. Somehow it become union. So there is a there is a non-dual nature. Nisu meba, yudan yujin nisu meba means object and observer become one. So there is a like object is part of the observer, and observer is part of object, and somehow you will be able to understand sort of like without separation. So when you actually understand clearly without separation a non-dual nature of an object and observer mind as a non-dual, no separation, then that is what the Buddha mind is. All right. So that is what it says in the text. All right. So I'm not speaking this from my experience. It is something that I learned from the Buddha's text. So I'm explaining it. So that is how it is explained in the text. All right. And then Helen person is saying one more question about 9-round breathing. We're supposed to reflect on emptiness and while holding the breath for 9 count. Is it because the breath, still and thought more likely to still and therefore natural also still at that point? Yes, I think kind of like that is a one method, right? Sort of like when you breathe in, when you're holding the breath, so that is like there is a gap between in-breath and out-breath. So somehow, there is a kind of like the, when you actually catch that, sort of like that moment, and then connecting with that emptiness. So that is one of the method. So, like sometime when we actually do correctly and properly, and then these things will actually, like the 9-round breathing, when you're holding the breath, it's just kind of like, it will help you to understand the, like some part of the emptiness nature of your mind, all right? Okay, so then Victoria Kunsang is here, Tashi Delek, and Miho Sang, Tashi Delek. So I think, so that is for today. Happy Wednesday to all. And so I hope that in India, actually, the new kind of like COVID-19 cases is actually becoming more. And so I hope that, in other countries, it's not that bad. And so please, everybody, do take care, take all the precautions thing, and just stay safe. And I think most of you maybe have taken the vaccination. So here in India, I also took the AstraZeneca COVID shield, kind of like how many, 4 weeks ago, but then I'm planning to get my second shot maybe up to 6 weeks, so which is coming soon, and I hope that you all are safe, and it's your choice. I'm not going to say you have to get it. If you want to get it, then it is. But then it is just kind of like just kind of, if you want to, then that I personally choose maybe that's good kind of immune booster. And then recently, actually, I went to Bangalore, and so here in India also they are kind of like a little bit strict with the mask, and I myself got into a little problem. I was in the car, and then I was wearing the mask, and then my mask is kind of a little tight because I have a big face, right? So it was kind of like a little bit paining on my ear, and I was in the car in the passenger seat, and then I, because I thought that inside the car maybe not necessary, right? But then I kind of like, then some policemen are actually checking, and then they stop our car, and then I said, oh, like I didn't recognize. Then they're saying, roll down the window, and then they said, mask, and then okay, I was just, I have a pain in my ear like that, but then they say no, you have to pay fine, and but it is just the fine is actually small, right? It's just Indian rupees, 250 rupees. It's just a small fine, but just kind of like I follow the rules, so I pay 250, and so it is kind of like an interesting kind of like but then so that is how strict they are. Actually, they are being very strict with the. So I think it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. Just kind of like when you are in the public, just kind of taking care of kind of like putting the mask, face mask. But it's kind of like usually it's kind of like it's a little bit uncomfortable, but for the safety of yourself and safety of others, I think just following that will be good, right? So that is just my personal little experience. When I went to Bangalore, I went to Bangalore. It's a big city, right? So it was kind of few days I was visiting. Now I'm back in the village. All right. All right. So everybody, stay safe, take care, and see you next Wednesday if you want to join. Wednesdays with Rinpoche. All right. Okay. Bye bye.